Good evening and welcome to the January 17th, 2024 Stoughton Redevelopment Authority meeting. This meeting is being held via Google Meets and in person. In accordance with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, which extends the Governor's March 12, 2023 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20 until March 31st, 2025. This meeting is, as I said, being conducted both in person and virtually via Google Meets. A recording of this meeting transcript or other comprehensive record of the proceeding will be posted on the town's website and SMAC. Times are approximate and items may be taken out of order at the chair's discretion. I call the meeting to order, and I would ask somebody to make a motion to open.
So made.
Second.
Excellent. And everything will be done tonight by roll call. So Reggie?
Aye.
Roberta?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Bob, would you be kind enough to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance while you're in the room?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
To the republic which we stand,
One nation.
one nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all.
for all.
Thank you, Bob. First item of business is public comments. Are there any members of the public online or in person that have a comment?
Yes,
Okay, please identify yourself for the record.
Cynthia Walsh, 1096 Park Street.
Thank you, Cynthia. What can we do for you?
Nothing. I just want to concur with previous speakers that it's good to hear Reggie's voice, and I hope he can join us in person soon.
As do I. Thank you for that, Ms. Walsh.
Yeah, and thank you, Ms. Walsh. And I hope to be back in person very soon myself.
Well, I've been there and I've come back, so I know what you're going through.
Thank you. I have no chair comments tonight at this moment. So I would move on to member comments. Members, are there any comments?
No comments.
Okay. Roberta or Bob?
Nope.
All right. Administrator comments, Donna?
The only comment that I have to make is that unfortunately we had to cancel our last meeting. Luckily I knew early enough. I was able to let town hall know. And they advised me to put a sign on the door, letting people know that the meeting was canceled. And going forward, I will continue to do that. I will also update Facebook as well. But that will be the way we will be letting people know that the meetings, if they have to be canceled, are being canceled. And if anyone from the public wants to reach the SRA, the number to call is 781-341-1300, extension 9299. And that will connect to a voicemail that will go directly to my email. So that will be the number to call if anyone has to reach the SRA in the future.
And those emails come in instantly, Donna.
They do.
You are very good about getting me those. As soon as they come in, I never see a delay in that. So thank you for those comments. Was that it, Donna, or was there something more?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. So our next item is the 100-page street solar array discussion. Bob Desmond, I'm going to defer to you a little bit on this. I know there was a little bit of back and forth. Do you wish to continue this until another meeting, or would you like to move forward with some discussion tonight?
I'd like to move it to a future meeting date. I think we've got some other other things that we need to take into consideration before scheduling that meeting.
So would it be okay if we shifted that to our February meeting, Bob, or is that too early?
No, I think that'd be fine.
Okay, so our February meeting will be on the 14th. Oh, that's Valentine's Day. I might get my, and it's Ash Wednesday. So you know what? That's not going to work. We'll have to discuss this when we set the meeting, but we'll definitely go to February. Okay, Bob?
That'd be fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is the resignation of Andrew Ward. For those members of the public who may have noticed, Andrew has had some spotty attendance. He's had a number of things at work that have prohibited him from being here, mostly travel, honestly. So Andrew made the decision to resign, because of business and personal reasons. So we will miss him. However, that is an item that we need to bring to the select board for a joint meeting. Just so happens I received an email today from Reggie Medeiros at the town manager's office and Gilda asking if we had contacted the select board as of yet. Donna, you haven't yet, correct?
No, you asked me to hold off on it?
Yeah, we weren't sure. So at this point, everybody's ready to go unless there's a member who has a comment or concern. I'd like to get that in front of the select board as soon as possible. I will forward that email that I received from Reggie, Donna, and if you can set that up before you do. Roberta, you had a comment?
Yes, I do. I did forward that email to Gilda over a week ago. Told her the circumstance. It probably was right around the time of the last meeting that got canceled. I suggested the urgency of her, that we will need another participant. If somebody is out ill, we won't be able to have a meeting. So I know the selectmen are aware of it. I guess just, it's their budget time. It's just how quickly they can set us up on there to advertise it and do everything they need to do.
Yeah, that was the plan. I have had discussions about this with the select board and the town manager. We will get this on their agenda as soon as possible. They don't feel that it will be a long and protracted process. Generally, in the past, how these things worked was, the advertisement gets done, we accept the applications. We personally at the SRA review those applications. We make a recommendation to the select board. Now, the select board is under no obligation to accept our recommendation. However, they often do. Such was the case with Reggie, actually. That's how he originally got on here before he ran for the office after his appointment expired. So looking forward to that process, and we'll make sure that gets underway. So Donna, if you could, I'll forward you the info from Reggie and Gilda, if you could follow up on that. Anything further from the members on the resignation of Andrew?
Andrew did put that in writing. Am I correct?
Yes, you are. Yeah, he did, Reg. Did you hear me?
Yes, I did.
It's unfortunate. I was fond of Andrew. I think he brought a lot to the table. He just
Yeah.
wasn't able to be here enough,
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So for the public, consider it. And I think he had at least 3.5 years left in his term, if not more. So
Yeah, I think it was due to expire either in 26 or 27.
yeah, Donna will get
Yeah.
us that information for our joint meeting. Okay, if there's nothing else on the resignation, we're going to move on to the policy of payment of bills without a quorum present. This was something I spoke with the vice chair about. I felt that it was in the best interest of the redevelopment authority, where over the past couple of years, we've had a number of members grow ill and been out for extended periods of time. However, both the vice chair and myself felt it was prudent that the redevelopment authority be able to continue to pay its bills and continue to do business, even though we're not having a meeting now. Obviously, new business couldn't come up without a meeting and a quorum, and deliberations couldn't happen. But we are the owners of a property on Perry Street now. We have a number of responsibilities and obligations. So I wanted to get, as did the vice chair Roberta, wanted to get a sense from the authority in the event that we are unable to gather a quorum. Is the authority generally comfortable with moving forward and paying their bills on a regular basis? So I don't know if there's any members that would like to have a discussion about this, or if somebody wants to make a motion. I'm open to either.
I think it's most prudent that that we're able to move forward with paying our bills, regardless if we are able to have a meeting or not. So I would make a motion to move forward with paying our bills, regardless if we have a meeting or not.
I'm perfectly fine with that. I would accept that motion and look for a second.
I
Roberta?
want a second for discussion.
Sure.
I think maybe when Reggie uses the word bills, it's kind of general. I mean, there's obviously rent, utilities, phone, Donna. But I don't know if we come upon a bill, let's just say our attorney sends us a bill. We need to discuss it before we pay it. I'm just picking on that. So I don't know if we should generalize it as bills.
So I think I hear what you're saying. Perhaps, Reggie, would you accept a friendly amendment that we pay our monthly bills and then we
Yeah.
can get into some of the more, finite details?
Yeah, certainly would accept that. I think anything that has to do with our operations is fine.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes?
would we still require 2 signatures on the checks?
I'm sorry, would we, yes, you will still require 2 signatures on the checks. We're not looking to change that policy. However, unless we're down to 1 member, which is a bigger problem, and I don't anticipate that. This is probably something we don't need to do. However, I really feel to pay our monthly bills, our rent payments, our monthly, if there's phone bills or internet bills or things like that that come in on a regular basis, insurance payments certainly are what would be considered regular bills. I want to ensure that that kind of thing gets paid. So I would exclude bills that come from consultants or lawyers because those are not regular monthly bills. We don't have an attorney on retainer, where we pay them monthly for it or annually. So I think initially let's stick to the monthly reoccurring bills. How's that? And Reggie accepted that amendment. So is there any further discussion on that? Because it was seconded by Roberta. Roberta, are you okay with that?
Yep. The
Okay.
amendment works beautifully. Thank you.
Okay, beautiful. And you're still willing to second that amendment?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. So if there's no further discussion, I'll take a roll call vote. Bob Desmond,
Yes.
Reggie,
Yes.
Roberta,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. Which brings us to the second piece of it that Roberta brought up, and a very good point. So we are engaging legal counsel currently on 2 different issues, actually. Well, I think we're down to 1 now. We had engaged counsel for the purchase. However, we still have ongoing legal counseling coming on the Page Street property that we control. So I do not think it makes sense to just blindly pay those bills, to your point, Roberta. So I think we would leave those the way they are. You still require a meeting and a quorum to vote those bills. Is that fair to everybody? Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Bobby?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. The only other piece that I would like to have a motion on tonight, given that we now own a property, if for some reason there's an extended period of time where the authority doesn't meet, yet the building requires a repair or some sort of maintenance, I would like to give the authority the ability to react to that if we in fact could not get a quorum together. How do people feel about that?
I think it's necessary to do something like that because we could miss a month or two, and there's a necessary repair that has to be completed. We shouldn't have to wait an additional 30 days or 60 days to get it done. I think the only thing would be is to just send an email to the board members, letting them know that XYZ happened and XYZ needs to be done to get it completed or repaired.
And we could put checks and balances in to ensure that it would be the chair and vice chair making that decision at the time. Does that make sense? I know, Roberta, you put your hand up. I presume you have a comment as well.
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to figure out, I guess if you got a call and there was a hole in the roof,
Emergencies.
calling in, something like that, right? We don't have to call a meeting for it.
Right.
But that's an unusual circumstance. Yeah. So, I mean, I just think it's common sense practice. I mean, you're not going to let your property deteriorate because you can't get in touch with anybody.
Well, and I don't disagree, but I think it's good to have rules in place so that, or a policy in place, if you will, that clearly states the chair and vice chair have the authority to act on emergencies. It's just one of those, being a public body, we don't have a budget per se for this yet. And that's going to need to be worked out this year. But until that gets done, I just sort of want to very transparently let the public know that you're right. We're going to take control and care of this property and ensure that it is maintained and we don't anger any of the tenants, that's a part of it too. So.
Well, if you're willing to make a motion, Mark, I will second it.
I'm happy to make a motion. I usually we have this come from members, but I'll make a motion that the authority through the chair and vice chair are given the authority to react to emergency situations at the property on Perry Street or Page Street for that matter, and be allowed to make expenditures as absolutely necessary, either on their own or through the program administrator. How's that?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion on it?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, so all of those in favor by roll call: Bob,
Yes.
Reggie,
Yes.
Roberta,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. Excellent. Financial review, Bob Desmond.
So as far as number 7 is concerned on the agenda, I spoke with Donna in getting in contact with that company, and I just needed the yearly amount in order to process that for 2023. So she had sent that to me, I believe, today. So now that I have that information, I can reach out to them and get that taken care of for her 1099.
Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
we're gonna be using the same company that we used last year, Bob?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we got a pretty good deal out of them last year. I felt like we were treated very fairly. So do you need a motion, Bob, or are you okay to just move forward with that? That's standard practice, so.
Yeah, I have no problem getting in touch with them now that I have the information and having a conversation with them. And then I'll let Donna know what their time frame is as well. I know it needs to be done by the 31st, so I don't see a problem.
No, nor do I. They were pretty responsive last year, so thank you for that, Bob.
No problem.
Now I know we had thrown a lot at you
Yeah.
last month. Are you making any progress on the budget?
So just to kind of break that down from the action items, Donna requested that the invoice be broken out. So that would give me a better way to make the clarification between each project. I think, they came back and sent us an email, gave us that information. So now that I have the breakdown rather than one lump sum, I can start to break down, what we spent on the property, what we're spending for, Page Street. And then, now that I have that, I can start working on that. So that would be both for the real estate and for the law firm, and that includes Page Street as well. So I don't know if anyone had any questions, but I had one other one there that I was gonna touch base on, but I didn't want to move forward unless someone had a question.
Desmond, I don't have a question. I just have a comment saying thank you very much for stepping forward and taking on some of the responsibilities that I had in the past.
No problem, Reggie.
Roberta?
Yes, I guess this is to Bob. We had I'm gonna call it this, on the settlement sheet or the HUD on the purchase of Perry Street.
Yes,
I requested they put the legal bills on there so that we could distinguish it from any other bills from the other Page Street. But yet it appears that there is still, I'm just wondering if they realize that why are there additional charges on Perry Street? I'm just wondering if they didn't realize they put it on the settlement sheet. And we have to, I will not, okay paying any more on Perry Street if I don't understand what it is.
Yeah, and Roberta, to follow up with that, that was one of the reasons I had asked Bob, and I know it was a lot. And, hopefully I'm sure Donna is being helpful in any way you need her to be, Bob, but it's one of the reasons we need a financial breakdown or synopsis of our real estate expenses that were incurred. Remember, we had to work on the incubator model. There were a number of different initial pieces that went into this. So I agree with you. It is on the settlement sheet. And I want to compare the settlement sheet to what we've paid. Add that all up and make sure we're not either double paying or overpaying. So we're not getting hounded by Harrington. So I'm not concerned about it, but I think for February, Bob, it's important that we have at least that one broken down and figured out so we can finalize any legal bills and pay those off for February.
sure. Yep, absolutely. Now that I have the information, and I'll probably, I might even introduce myself and have a conversation with them as well, just to kind of review anything that I find on the invoice that I have a question on. And that was my concern as well, because it seems some of the issues weren't on the settlement sheet, or so like you said, if that's inclusive of that cost, then we shouldn't be charged for it. So that would be one of the things that I'm going to kind of go through with a fine tooth comb and make sure that we weren't double billed or charged for something that we already incurred.
Yeah, I think that's smart. And Roberta, you're right. We don't want to pay bills that we don't know. So it's good for us to get the settlement sheet, compare that to the bills that we're receiving from Harrington Mayora or Harrington Heap now, I think it is. But the point is, by February, and Donna, if you can assist Bob in any way he needs to gather that information, collate it, and have it prepared for February's meeting, that will be helpful to all. The other item, and Bob, you can continue now. I apologize. We kind of.
No, I just wanted to make sure if anyone had any questions or comments. The last one is fill in the page 2 of the tax exempt form. So I did have a call today with Trish and the assessor. They asked some questions. As far as the form's concerned, it does look like you need to be a nonprofit, but they did indicate there are other options, and that may be a pilot program, something to the effect of what the housing authority does now. So we could look at a couple of different things, but I'll be looking for the clarifications, questions that they asked me today. Once I get it back to them, I'll send Trish an email. She'll send it to the assessor. We'll have a follow-up conversation to see exactly if in fact we are or could be exempt from property tax.
Yeah, I would like to keep following this up. We are definitively a municipal department. We're listed as such. We're also a quasi-state agency. It's a weird, we're definitely in a weird hole. So,
yeah, those were some of the questions she asked today, and I couldn't really answer. I mean, one of the questions was, does the town subsidize you? That was, a specific question. What chapter of the general law do we follow? So there's probably 4 or 5 questions that I need to get answers to. Review that. Once I do, I'll get that information to Trish, and she'll share it with the assessor and hopefully tell us which direction we need to go in.
Yeah, and if we need to get, Tom call to the town manager or the select board or Mark Tisdale involved, I'm happy to facilitate whatever has to happen there. The bottom line is the less money we have to spend on implementing the incubator model because we're paying tax, then the less of a benefit this is to the town. And I think everybody, at least, the people I've spoken to in management, have all said, we like this idea. We hope it's successful. We'll help in any way we can. This is one way you can help, So continue to follow that through and give us an update in February, Bob.
Will do.
Now, we do have from Reggie a projected budget for 2024. Have you had an opportunity to look at that? I know you've been, as I say, we gave you a lot, so.
Yeah, no, to be perfectly honest, no. Between the last meeting, the tenant, these questions and everything else, no, I haven't really had a chance to. But I wanted to kind of wait till again, the bills were broken down and I could kind of just set aside some time to kind of start picking that apart.
Okay, and the beauty of what Reggie did for us last year was set us up so that, okay, we don't have an approved actual budget for this year. However, because we have a projected, we can run off of that projected and feel comfortable, know that we're not going to spend out of control. There are pieces that are there now that weren't there last year, obviously. So it does need to be updated. Would it be helpful if Donna went through that projected and try to hardline some of it for you and see if that was, or would you rather just take the time and pick through it?
I think what I'll do is I'll take the time to pick through it. Then if I have questions, I'll reach out to Donna and then I'll go from there.
Okay. I was also pretty involved with, Reg is on with us, but
Yeah.
I don't want to put a lot on you, Reggie. So I'm obviously, until you tell us you're ready to, more actively participate in that, we're just grateful to have you here right now. But, I know you're still on the road to recovery and it's been an arduous one. So, but you and I worked on this a little bit last year, so I'm familiar with it, which is what I'm saying, Bob,
And I will take another look at it and, and see if there's anything that I can add to it between now and the next meeting. And if there's anything that's I think is way out of bounds. I'll get in contact with both you and Bob.
Awesome.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Reggie. But don't tax yourself. Take it slow. I'd rather have you long term than blow you out in a meeting.
I'm laughing because
Yeah, I know. Um,
if you could see me now, you guys would be laughing right along
I
with me.
I
but-
feel awful, Reg. I really do. It's terrible that you have to go through this, but unfortunately, it's the way it is right now. So we'll take what we get. Roberta, did you have any further comments on that before I move on?
No, not on the budget. No, I'm fine.
Awesome.
you.
Thank you. So let's see. Next item is action items list. Sorry, I was focused on Bob's stuff. Donna, you want to give a brief run through on the action?
Mine were pretty much, the same as I normally do.
Yep.
The only added one that I see is that you asked me to contact the assessor's office regarding the tax exempt process, which I did. But everything, and to download environmental reports from Green Seal. And to draft that letter to Patriot, which we put on hold for the town being. But other than that, and I did post the incubator model on the town website, on the SRA page and also on the redevelopment .org website. And
Thank
it was filed with town hall as well.
And the other thing I see that was you and I was the cover letter to the tenant. That did go out to the tenant. However, we still have, some work that needs to be done on that. I know that Roberta, you and Bob did have a discussion with the tenant. I don't know if you want to give a brief synopsis of that, or is that appropriate?
I'll speak. Yeah, no, very nice lady. She has been doing business there for 8 years. She asked about doing a little bit of improvement on the floor. I guess at one time there must have been water or wet. And Bob and I gave her the okay to do it. We didn't think there was any harm in that. We did ask her if she would like to have a lease or not. She didn't seem to feel that it was important, so, it's on the table if she wants to, or she can be a tenant at will, as she's been for, I guess, 7 years. And I think that's about it. No, we spent some time with her. She seemed very nice. I don't know if Bob wants to add anything.
The only thing I wanted to add was the payment of rent. I did receive rent that night. It was actually cash. I was able to deposit it the next day, and so I'm gonna work with her as far as I think there's a app that she uses that Abington Savings use, Zelle, and to see if we can get her to utilize that each month rather than cash, or make her have to go get a certified check. So hopefully we can get that squared away before February's rent's due.
So, I mean, cash is legal tender, although it does present, enormous issues for the authority. I guess whatever works out for her until we put a lease together. And I hate to say it, but I kind of think we need to at least have something in writing with her. Maybe that's a topic better had at February's meeting, where we can look at sort of a rough draft lease, which I actually have pretty much ready to go, although it lacks some of those details. So Roberta, would you be willing to work with me and Bob and Reggie if you're available to sort of, work out the minutia of that, the little details?
Yeah, and on that also, I mean, at least, it's a tenant at will, a tenant, a year's lease. I mean, if you want to put rules and regulations or what's expected of us and of her, it's basically just correspondence. that she can have on file and we can have on file. And it doesn't have to have a start date and an end date either. So, yep, that's fine too.
Okay, so I'll put it on our February schedule. I'll provide a base lease. We can toy around with it ahead of time. And then collectively we'll make a decision. Does she, do we want to ask her to sign a lease? Do we want to just have her go month to month? I mean, I think there's advantages to both from our perspective, but we can have that discussion in February. That's the point. So other items on this. Roberta, you had a couple of things. General liability insurance for Perry.
Yeah, nope, they haven't got back to me. I believe our general liability there may end in April. Is that true?
March, I believe, late March.
Okay,
Yeah,
so when I spoke to them 2 weeks ago, it was with I can't think of the person's name.
Morse Insurance.
Yeah, so I maybe they're just saying, okay, when March comes up, marry them to, let this policy run its course. It's only got another month or two, and then at that point, but I'll be back in touch with them because I have not heard back from her in a
Okay.
week. So,
And this, the name of the new firm we are using, at least for Perry Street, is, remind me.
well, we're going to John Russell, but the
Thank you.
insurance is through
Providence.
Providence Mutual.
That's correct.
Okay,
So yeah, I mean, we have general liability, which I think he already looked at and said he can combine and save us a few $100s. Am I right on that?
yes, and the terrorism insurance has to stay. I don't know if I told you guys.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
How come?
I don't know.
Okay, well, maybe we can dig that up for February as well, but we also carry an officer and director policy.
Right.
And I'd like him to look at that if that's something he offers.
Okey doke.
All right, so if you could have that ready for us for February, we can make a decision because our insurance runs out in March. So I'd like to have something ready to go for that.
When does that other policy run out?
I believe it's March 24th because we ran into a hell of a time last year on this, so.
Okay, so that other policy though, I am not in state to give them that information. That's the-
Why? I apologize. You're not in state.
I could email it to you.
All right, then I'm just gonna email it to them.
Yeah,
So
can we
I'll
just have Donna email it, Roberta?
I'll coordinate with Donna how to get the policy to John Russell.
Yeah, just Donna can handle any of the
Yeah.
legwork if, whatever needs to happen.
Okay, I'll give her a buzz tomorrow, lady.
Thank you, Roberta.
Yep.
I was like, I don't get it, but it didn't click that. Yeah, I get it now. So, and you were going to research the cost to split their utilities at Perry Street. Did you get around to that before you left?
Split, no, because that means we're gonna have to have a plumber, heater, or a gas fitter in.
Yep.
I didn't know who I should call, to be honest, to add another gas meter.
So the gas meter goes with whoever provides the gas. The interior plumbing would have to be done by a licensed plumber.
Right.
Same with the water meters. It is a costly process, although it's not in the interest of, crossing our T's and dotting our I's.
I don't think it's good for the water anyways, and because we own the whole building.
Yeah.
Reason to give her a separate meter because we're legally responsible for the water bill anyways.
So how do we want to handle our tenant where
Right
for
now,
whatever reason it was often, behind a little bit in the past?
well, I did say that to her. I guess I should have said, Bob and I talked to her about that. She said that she was never handed that bill until the last minute because it went to the owner of the property, which makes sense. And she was
Okay.
handed the bill late.
Okay.
That's why it was always paid late. I tend to believe her.
So you know
So-
what? I think we give her the benefit of the
Yeah,
doubt
yeah.
and we give her Donna, have we received a bill yet?
No, not for, water,
Okay.
only for electric.
So when we do receive the water bill, I agree with you,
And we'll
Roberta.
see
Let's
what name it
give her the
comes to.
benefit.
Well, you know how bills are with the town, how they're given to the old address or the old name on the bill. And I think a call to the assessor's office or Karen at, the lady at the water department. So the bill actually goes to our address on Pearl Street. So it can be handed to her because it could be going to the previous owner in Easton. It could be going to that bill. I don't really know where the bill is going right now.
So let's ensure, Donna, could you follow up with the DPW, make sure that our bills are being sent from Perry to 7 Pearl? Make sure that she has the exact information. I would tend to agree and believe her that, you know, she was getting those bills late. So let's give her the benefit of the doubt and see if that can be sort of rectified on its own. For me, I have not held a meeting, nor have I even reached out to the Citizens Advisory Group. I will make an attempt to get that done before our next meeting. I have the lease template ready and we'll have that in our January meeting. CPC, let's see, we had a late application come in under urgent review for an electronic gate to control the Bird Street area. There is a parking lot going in over there as part of I think it was an Audubon grant that the town received. And it really requires some sort of mechanical gate system. I've spoken to the police department prior to that application. They're very much in favor of these electronic gates. They have good control over them and they have video capacity there. So they recommended that we did this, as did the fire department for security reasons. So that was approved, and we also approved the funding for the various projects that have already been approved for the year. We have 7 total going to town meeting this year. 2 housing projects, one for 200 units of affordable senior housing, and one for, and that the Hebrew Senior Life project passed unanimously. The second project was for 24 units of homeless accommodation at the Stoughton Motel. That went through on a split vote of 5-3 with one abstention. 5-3 or 5-4 with one. I think it was 5-4 with one abstention. So no, it would have been 5-3 with one. I apologize. However, it did pass. We also took care of the funding sources for all of our projects. We had Stoughton Youth Baseball, Marks Field, the 2 housing, the electronic gate. Oh, and there was a historic signs application and an application to do some rehabilitation McNamara Farm building, all of which passed. And that is my CBC update. We are paying mostly cash this year, although there is $1.3 million in bonding coming to town meeting this year for one of the 2 housing projects. Bob, we've already gone over your action item list. Are you comfortable skipping your piece?
Yeah, I think I did review it, but
You did. Yep.
Yeah.
With the financial review.
The only thing is, when you have a chance, if you could give me, a copy of December's bank statement.
sure.
Got it. Is that it, Donna?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Item 9 is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any discussion? Or does anybody want anything pulled? Hearing no discussion, by roll call, Bob,
Yes.
Roberta,
Yes.
Reggie?
Yes.
Now, Reg, this is a little bit of a new process. We have packaged our regular monthly bills into a consent agenda. So thank you for your vote, and the motion, and the chair votes yes, by the way. So that passes. What else? All right, directors and officers, I think we touched on this. Is there anything more, Donna, we need to discuss on this?
No, I just provided it.
Okay, thank you. I have executive session minutes from December 13th, 2023 that need to be approved but not released. Do I have a motion? Roberta, you raise your hand?
Yeah, I have not reviewed them. So can we table them to the next meeting? Because I don't know if Reggie will want to, I want to make sure we can approve them. And I don't,
No, that's perfectly fine. I have no issue with that at all.
sorry.
Yeah.
Don't be sorry. No, I'll ask you, Donna, to put those December 13th, 2023 minutes onto our February agenda, please.
Sure.
All right. Unless there's anybody else who has an issue with that, I think that's a great idea. Hearing nothing. Item 12, 2-4 Perry Street. So got a couple of things to talk about. The letter to the neighbor regarding parking. I know, Roberta, you worked on this in great detail. Do you want to give the authority an update?
Sure. Reggie may not be aware, we have a neighbor to the right of the property who has been parking at that location for 30 years or so. The previous owner made a deal with them. I guess it was, she could leave her trash there, according to her, and they could park there. But unfortunately, we have very limited parking, and the realtor did contact the person, and he said, yep. I think he actually ended up calling the office. Donna gave me his number. I called him. He did call me back. I had a probably 20-minute conversation with him. He's an older gentleman in his 90s, and his adult daughter. And they explained to me basically what I just said. And I said that we needed that parking area, and he wanted to just park there at night. And I said, no, because if we have somebody there at 6 a.m, so basically I said that they couldn't park there anymore. And every time I've driven by, they still park there. So I think that we need to send them a letter saying you cannot park there anymore. I think we need to purchase a sign and stake it to the end saying, private property, you'll be towed, something to that effect, because unless we nip this in the bud, these people are going to be continually to park in the spot. And it's not just the one spot. Part of the second spot that they teeters on both properties. So, we need to take care of this.
And Roberta and I have had a number of discussions about this. I agree with her. We've been very kind. We were given assurances by the real estate agent who assisted us in purchasing this property that this would be no longer an issue. It still is. I get old habits are hard to break. I am in favor of doing all the things Roberta says, although I do agree with her that we should send a letter first. And that letter should have a date certain as to when that sign will go up and when towing will begin. Is there any further discussion on that?
Yes.
Please.
So if this letter goes out, I guess we have to have a guesstimate. When do you think this letter can go out? A week?
So Donna, is it possible for you to put together a draft for us?
Sure.
Just a general, you know.
I don't know
howdy,
the gentleman's name or anything though.
I
Roberta,
do.
you do, don't you?
I do, but I don't think I should say it.
No, I agree, yes.
No, I was gonna say, would you be kind enough to
Say it.
just send that to Donna?
But if it can get out within a week, if Donna thinks that's attainable, that will be the 23rd. I think we should give them to the 15th of February, around the same time as our meeting. I know it's Valentine, give or take. So when we have our meeting in February, this should be rectified. I don't care.
I
Do
agree.
it February 10th. I think maybe once we set our meeting date, we'll set the date for this, so it will be before, a few days before. They can just not park there today. They don't need weeks and weeks' notice. So maybe even if we give them to the first of the month, I'm gonna change that to February 1st, so when we have our meeting in February, I unfortunately won't be able to be driving by, but hopefully you guys can drive by on occasion and make sure the vehicle's not there. And if
I
the
do.
continues to stay there, then that sign goes up and then we, take it from there. That's my suggestion.
And we'll have to research, who we can contract to do the towing. I don't know how that works, to be honest with you, so,
Either do I.
anybody, Reggie or Bob, do you guys have any idea how you?
I've had some experience with it. Generally speaking, I know in the Boston area, you don't have to pay for it. You do a contract with a towing company, and the towing people generally will cruise the area, and if they find somebody that's not supposed to be there, they'll tow the vehicle. And then the owner of the vehicle has to pay the tow company direct to get their money back. I mean, to get their car back.
Get the car, yeah.
Yeah. But usually, I know in the Boston area, you don't have to pay for the service. You just have to have a contract with them, and they will provide you with the signage.
So I know that, there is a neighbor who regularly tows out of his lot. He uses a company. I wonder if we could find out who that is and give them a call, and because they're right there,
Well, let's hope it doesn't get to that point.
Well, I hope not, but I think it behooves us to look into it if we're gonna give a date. I would be okay giving the date until February 15th. We're not gonna be able to line this until April anyway. It gives them plenty of time to figure out a different scenario, but Roberta,
They know where the property line is, Mark.
I know they do. I'm aware of that. Trying to be fair, and I get, you've been dealing with this one-on-one, so I understand so I guess I would accept a motion from somebody about this item so we can get this rolling and get it out of here. Go ahead, Roberta.
All right, I'll make a motion to send a letter to the neighbor regarding parking, that they have to have their car removed from that spot by February 1st. And that somebody there will have to get a sign and post it up, and we can tell them that otherwise they will be towed at the owner's expense. Simple.
Would you be kind enough to repeat the date on it? You broke up a little.
Sure, February 1, 20.
Okay. Do I have a second on that?
Second,
Any further discussion? Hearing none by roll. Oh, go ahead, Reggie.
I said no, no
okay.
further discussion.
By roll call, Bob Desmond,
yes.
Roberta,
Yes.
Reggie,
Yes.
the chair votes yes. Donna, if you throw together some form of draft, Roberta will get you the name. And do you have the address, Roberta, or no?
I can look that up pretty easy.
Okay. So if you could send her the name and address, Donna, you put the draft together. I'll take a quick look at it, wordsmith it, we'll get it out to the rest of the members and get it out the door within 7 days of this meeting. So no later than the 24th of January, and that gives them 2 weeks to get it done. Yes, go ahead, Roberta.
Should we send one snail mail and one certified? You can say you never got it if it's not certified.
No, I don't
Yeah.
disagree.
Yeah, no, I think it has to go certified as well.
Yeah, I agree. We'll make sure it goes certified. Let's get the draft done first. All right. Not problem solved, but problem taken care of for the moment. Incubator model. So Donna, you have posted that on the town website. You've also recorded that with the clerk's office. Is that correct?
Yes, and it's on the redevelopment.org website, and it was sent to the Citizen Advisory Council.
Excellent. The Citizens Advisory Group. Yep.
Excuse me.
So in a follow-up to that, and I know that was part of my action item list, I will reach out to them in an email and see if they want to have a Zoom call to talk a little bit about that. Item C is information on the Perry Street shops. That is definitely, sort of a piece of the incubator model, but I don't know, Roberta, if you want to expand on that at all, or would you like to reserve that for a
No, I
future meeting?
actually would like to expand on it.
Go ahead.
What I would like to do is I would like to have I don't know if I want to call it a meet and greet at the actual Perry Street address to invite crafters, craft people, whatever, small business people. To show them the space, try to tell them what we're all about, what our plan is. Definitely want their input, because if we're going to be working collaboratively or collectively with with the vendors, I'm going to call them, I want people to have a say. I want people to, not that there wouldn't be, this is going to be loosey-goosey, but to see, we got to feel these people out to see if this is something that they're receptive to. So I'd like to do something in April at that address. But before that, we have to get it out to the public, what we're doing. I mean, I did go in front of the select board last Tuesday, told them what our plan was. I would like to get it out further. Maybe I can put something in the town crier, not right yet, but a little closer to the date so people can know what we're trying to do. We need to generate some interest. And we also need to come up with, I'm going to call it an application for any of the vendors, your basic information, what they plan on selling. Is it something they create themselves? If they're willing to commit to working there, all these different things. Are they willing to convert to being a vendor there for 6 months, or any certain duties or expectations that we have of the vendors and what they should expect from each other. And basically that's kind of it. I mean, we just got to start letting people know what we plan to do, I guess.
So do you think you can have something together for a February meeting, or?
I do. I have stuff scratched out and written out. I mean, obviously, I want you guys' input on what I'm saying and what I'm putting out there, but we have to get it out to them eventually that we're looking for people. And, hopefully we can figure out too when we're going to be available to open. I mean, we don't know that yet either. So maybe by February I'll have more knowing where we're at on the progress of the building, I guess. If anyone has any input, please say it, because I'm all ears.
Yeah, I agree, obviously you're at this point familiar with the incubator model. I think this has to fit within the incubator model. But I have every confidence, after our own discussions, that it will. I think we need to get something on paper so members can look at that and give comments. Are you able to get
Yep.
that information in some sort of, typed form, or do you want to try and, how do you want to handle that?
Yep,
Whatever's easier.
I'll have something to you before, whenever we decide our next meeting is. I'll put something together so Donna can put it in with the packet, or I'll just send it to you guys individually, however you want to work it. That's
Yeah,
fine.
get it to Donna, get it into the packet. The sooner the better. That'll give us an opportunity to review it, but no rush. I mean, we
Yeah,
have it.
what I do isn't written in stone. That's why, like I'm saying, I'm gonna look for everybody's feedback and
Absolutely.
suggestions to add, take away. But it's gotta start somewhere.
Absolutely. I think it's a great idea. I'm just sorry I won't be a part of it, come April, but, happy to give my sense of what it looks like while I am still here. So,
Yes, Mark, and your view is very important to us. I mean, just because you're retiring from the redevelopment, I mean, we definitely want your input on this.
well, thank you. And I'm happy to give it. I do have some experience with this, and I was able to put that incubator model together. So anything I can do to help the authority is important. So thank you. Donna, would you just get that on our February agenda, and that'll sort of maybe put it on the action items list too. That'll keep things rolling.
Sure.
Thank you. That way I won't forget about it. So item 13 was there anything else on the Perry Street before I move on from any of the members?
Not for me.
Bobby?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. And Reg, I know you're still playing catch up, but did you have any
Yep.
comments?
No, the only comment that I have is I think this is a very good idea in terms of the incubator and adding to our asset base. So I want to congratulate you guys for moving forward on a project like this.
Well, it was a team effort, and very well done. Process was a little longer than I would have liked, but welcome to municipal work. But hopefully, Reg, I don't know if a paper or an email copy would be better, but hopefully you have an opportunity to review that incubator model at some point in the future. Familiarize yourself with it. It really is it was a well put together document based on some thoughts, and I'm kind of proud of it. Hopefully we can instate it and make it work well, and I'm sure we can. So another piece of issue or items that we have, item 13, is the ledger sheet with needed contacts for paying, receiving bills online. Also a contact list for all of those which the SRA deals with on a regular basis. I am in the process of putting together the contact information from the new company up at the C&D facility, Win Waste. I'm going to give you everything I have right up to the last minute. The folks that work at Win Waste, minus sort of the top head people, seem to change with some frequency, but I'll give you, like, I got a call just this evening from another person, no idea who it is, but from Win Waste, obviously doing something. I'll find out tomorrow when I hear back from them. But the point is, I think a comprehensive list of all that and all the bills that we pay online, annual subscriptions, things like that. Donna, would you be willing or able to work on some of those annual subscription lists?
Yeah, there is one that I wanted to just mention now. The Wix has been paid for, the GoDaddy.com has been paid for. The Constant Contact is up for renewal. That's $83.88. That will automatically renew as of February 13th, unless we decide to cancel it.
Okay.
So-
I think one of the things that we're going to need to do is that might be helpful on that list, Donna, when you're putting it together, is put expiration dates on it so we know when these things are coming up, including our insurances, mind you. Roberta, do you have a comment?
Yes, that one that's ending Wix, I think she referred to. Is that the one we just started last year?
Constant Contact, and it is the one that was our first year with it. Yes.
And was that put in place for the urban renewal plan?
Yes.
Okay, so
Primarily it was,
all right,
yes.
my next question's gonna be, so is it something we should keep for another year? What do you think the status of that should be moving forward?
3 years ago, I thought this would be completed that year. My feeling is you should continue it for a year. You know, I did have a talk with Tom today briefly about this. I said, we really need to, get this done. The town has created a policy that has these sorts of things go through the town manager's office prior to it getting on the selectmen's agenda. This is a new policy. I says, well, can we get in front of you? And he says, yeah, no, you call Reggie and Jill and we'll set something up. He said, I'm ready to do this. Speaking of being ready to do this, Donna, I need you to reach out to BSC one more time, but we'll get into that at a later date so I can give you the specifics on that. But my gut is, yeah, I would continue this because you'll need it if we get the urban renewal plan. The attitude from Tom Coulter was one of positive nature. He wasn't negative at all about it. Just wants us to follow his new process. So.
You answered my question. Let's keep it for a year. I'm
Okay.
glad to talk to him because like you said, when I went in front of them last week, I had to see him before I could go in front of the selectmen also. So this is a new policy that the town manager wants us to do. So,
Yes, it is.
yeah.
But I believe this is one, if we can get our financials from BSC, which shouldn't be an issue. I believe this is one that we can handle, in-house. So, I believe this to be an informal conversation. Tom just wants to know that we're not wasting anybody's time,
Yes, that's how he basically said it to me when I went about the Perry Street. Yeah, he wants to know what's going on.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm working to arrange that, and Donna, I'll work with you more closely on that over the next week.
Okay, can I go ahead and pay this bill though?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless there's objections from any of the members, I'd say yes, we go ahead. Bob, do you have your hand up?
No.
No. There's a weird shadow on my computer screen. It looks like Bob's holding his hand up. It's a very large hand, mind you.
Oh, that's a microphone.
Yeah, I figured it out. All right, if there's nothing more on that, our next item is to enter into executive session to consider possible acquisition of property for the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property if the chair decides that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body, which I do, pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A6. It's 2 items. One is for the lease for 100 Page Street, landfill, Stoughton, Mass. 02072. The second item is 2-4 Perry Street. I question whether or not we have a need to go into executive session for 2-4 Perry.
Well, I'm gonna tell Donna the name of the guy next door, so I guess we can use it for that. No,
Okay. I'm trying to think, does that fit though? I mean, you can tell Donna the name, you can do that anytime.
okay, then pull it. That's fine.
Where we own it and we are a public entity, I don't see, although I understand your discretion in this case, that can be done on a one-to-one basis.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say just the 100 Page Street unless somebody has an argument that we should use, we should go for 2-4 Perry as well. I'll say just on 100 page. No objections to just 100 page? Hearing none. Did I cite? Hold on, I may not have cited. No, I did. I cited the law. We will adjourn from within executive session, so this will end our open session meeting. I need a roll call vote. First of all, do I have a motion to enter into executive session?
So made.
Do I have a second?
Second,
By roll call. Bob,
Yes.
Reggie,
Yes.
Roberta?
yes.
And the chair votes yes. I want to thank the public for watching.